Yes, actually, sometimes.
Yeah.
I think, especially with the pandemic, everyone's been a little anxious going into this because our bodies have not done what they could do before.
Mhm.
Some of us have been out of training, some of us have not been able to do theater. So I think going back into it, I have been a little nervous, but I realized they could have told me that they didn't want me for a whole year. So the fact that they kept me must mean that they believe in me. And I think I just have to trust in myself
Mm,
that as long as I'm doing what I've done before and just staying healthy, I'll be able to carry it. And
mm,
with all the rehearsing and the support from the cast, like on stage, there's not a way to feel nervous. I think with Annie, she is like a mom to all the kids in the orphanage
okay.
because she knows that her parents are gone, but I think she likes to imagine that they're there, and she likes to imagine what it would be like to have parents
Mhm.
and how they would feel towards her. So I think she takes that out on the orphans. Like with Molly, she it's so touching. She loves Molly like her own sister or
Mm,
kid. So I think that's really special. Another thing is optimism. Like during this time especially, I think it's so important. And it's not funny optimism and cutesy. Like she accepts the reality, but I think the optimism is really important to her.
mm,
And she shows that during one of the Hoovervilles, actually. During the Great Depression, there were Hoovervilles, which were like homeless towns that they
mhm.
blamed on Herbert Hoover. And she goes into one of the Hoovervilles, and everyone is talking about how they have this terrible life. And she's like, but you have to realize, you're doing better than some people right now.
Mhm.
And I think that's really important to remember for this time period, even when we feel a little bit distraught. Like, we are doing better than a lot of people right now, and we have to
Mm,
be grateful. And another thing that I've gained from Annie is being able to have a dream, even if you know it may not come true.
mm,
You should always believe in yourself and believe in your dream. And the Great Depression, I've actually really loved learning about the history of the musical because the Great Depression is really similar to this time period,
mm,
and I think it will kind of open the audience's eyes to what we are feeling right now.
mm,
Because Annie comes in and she's like this light in such a dark time, and I think we could all use some of that during
mm.
this pandemic. Yeah, I think that's mostly what I've gained from the character. She's so bright and yeah, I love Annie. It's actually funny in the musical Annie, Warbucks says, "I don't suppose you'd like to meet Babe Ruth." And Annie gets all excited about it, and then she turns back to him and says, "Who's Babe Ruth?" And I think that's hilarious because I can totally relate. When I started this, I was like, "Who is Babe Ruth, Mom?" And she was like, "You don't know who Babe Ruth is?" So it was really like a connection there. I was like, "Oh my gosh, me and Annie are so similar."